Hello everyone and welcome back to a new tutorial on the how to make an arm wrestle simulator game series. In this video we're going to be completing some work on the egg hatching system. So as you can see which pets are in the egg, and we're also going to do some backend stuff like choosing the random pet with the chance. Also, if you guys want to support me and want to have access to all of my project files without having to follow the tutorial, they will all be available on my Patreon in the $10 tier. The link will be in the description. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to make pets appear on the egg billboard GUI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter our eggs setup client script, and what we're going to do in here is where we are looping through the eggs. What we need to do when we create the new billboard is, as you can see, you know how we have this eggs module in here, which has all the data that we need, all the info. So we have it required here. So what we're gonna do is get the egg data. So local egg data equals nil, and we're gonna loop through for I comma v in eggs module in egg module egg module.x do, and what we're gonna do is if toString I is equal to egg model.name, then what we're gonna do is egg data equals v, okay, and break. Now we're gonna check if egg data is equal to nil, then we're just going to return end. Okay, so if you don't know what this means, so you know how we have so module.x, and we have the name of the egg, and we have it equal to this table. So what we're doing is looping through this whole eggs table, and the index is going to be this, and v, so I is going to be the name right here, and v is going to be all of this. So v is just going to be this table that contains all of this data. So what we're doing here is just checking if toString I, so we are converting this to a string. So if it's basic egg and it's equal to the egg name, then of course egg data is going to be this, so v. I hope that makes sense, and yeah, let's continue. So after getting the egg data, what we need to do is loop through the pets. So for I comma v in egg data dot pets do. Now the way we have this set up, so each pet is a table. So what we're gonna do is local template equals new egg billboard dot container. Now let's just, okay, so we have egg billboard dot main frame, so we have the main frame, so dot main frame dot container dot template clone. Okay, now after cloning the template, we're gonna set its name to v dot pet name, because as you can see now v is going to be equal to this table, to each table that contains the pet. So v dot pet name, and we also get the chance. So pet name, so it's going to be renamed to the name of the pet, and template dot, and pet name display dot text is going to be equal to the dot pet name. Now what I'm gonna do is template dot visible equals true, and template dot parent equals, and of course it's going to be egg billboard new egg billboard dot mainframe dot container. Okay, so I'm going to play this now, and also lower this weight because it's a little too much. So I'm going to play this and see if it's going to work. So we should have, okay, so we have the cat and the dog, but as you can see we don't have any pictures, and we need to render the two pets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to leave a link to a module that's very useful. It's called module 3D, I think, and it's very useful. So it makes using viewport frames so much easier. And yeah, so go ahead, I'll leave a link to it in the description, get it, and once you do get the model, what you can do is go to here, toolbox inventory, and just type in module, I think module 3D, and it should pop up. So module 3D v6, click it, and let's see where it stored it. It's probably in the workspace, and we're gonna drag it inside of shared. Actually no, not shared, we don't need it there. What I'm gonna do is let's see, Okay, I think the best way to do this is to have a folder in here, and we're gonna call it modules, and I'm just going to put it right here. Okay, now we're gonna do local modules. So local modules. These are pretty much the client modules that are not shared between the client and the server, and it's going to be equal to script.parent, wait for child modules. Now in here, what I'm gonna do is local module3d equals, and we're gonna do require modules, wait for child, and it's going to be, of course, module3d. Okay. After that, we need to go down here, and once we get the template, we need to get the viewport. Actually, before that, we're gonna get the pet model. Now let's see if we do have some pets, and we don't have any pets. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to set up your pets. So there's this free pet pack that I like using. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Let's see. So I think it's made by Berry Good, I think. This was his old name. I'm not very sure though. And okay, so yep, it's Very Good. So I'll leave a link to this pet pack in the description. Just go to inventory, just type in pet pack, and you'll see this. And just get it. And this has a lot of pets that you can use. And my favorite ones, actually no, not my favorite ones. I'm just going to choose the cat and the dog. I'm going to choose this cat right here. So let's just put it in the workspace, parent it to the workspace. Just drag it in here, and we also need the dog. So where's the dog? It should be somewhere around here. Let's just type in dog. We should have a dog. Okay, so it was right here. Let's drag it into the workspace, and now I'll show you how to set up your pets. So let's just go here. Okay, so the way this is going to work is, so we have this cat right here. Now it's composed of two parts. This cube that is too smooth and mesh part. I don't know why it's named cube that is too smooth. And a mesh part. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to select both of these parts, or everything that makes the model. And we're going to make sure that anchored is unchecked. So make sure that it's unchecked. And can collide is also unchecked. So false on can collide and anchored. Now, make sure that the primary part is set to nothing for now. So let's just do this. And now we will add a part. Now this part is going to be what's going to cover the pet and what's going to tell us where the front is. So when you select your part, just right click on it and click show orientation indicator. Now this is a very useful feature, and it's going to show you where the front of the part is, so where the part should be facing. So just rotate it so that it rotates, so that it faces the way the pet is facing. I'm just going to change this to 45 degrees. Okay, so now we need to put it on top of the pet. So we're just going to try to cover up the pet. I think that is good enough. Yep, let's just do that again. From the back, just cover up the whole pet, and this is going to be our hitbox for the pet. So we're going to call this hitbox. And what I'm going to do is make sure that the hitbox is going to be the only part that is anchored, and can collide should be false. Okay, so now we're going to add a weld constraint. Now we have our pet. Oh, also we need to change the transparency of this to 1. Sorry. So change the transparency to 1. And now if you play the game, something not very good is going to happen. It's just going to fall right through the base plate. So to fix that, since our hitbox is anchored, we need to stick everything to the hitbox. And that is going to be done using a weld constraint. So weld constraint. Why are there 2 cubes? Never mind. Okay, so just get the weld constraint and set part 0 to be the hitbox, and part 1 to be the first part that consists of your pet, or basically any part. And then duplicate it again. Part 0 should always be the hitbox, and part 1 this time is going to be the second part of the pet, and duplicate it again. Part 0 hitbox, part 1 is going to be the mesh part. And now we don't need to do one for the hitbox, because that does not make any sense. But this will work. So if we run this again, it shouldn't fall, and if we just move the pad, it's not going to just fall through. Okay, now one thing that I forgot to do is to select your pet and go to primary part, click on that and click on the hitbox. And now this pet is fully set up. So I'm going to create a folder in replicated storage. So I'm going to just create a folder and it's going to be called assets. Now inside of the assets folder, we're going to have another folder and it's going to be called pets. Now in the pets folder, we're going to have the cat that we just made. Now I'm going to set up the dog the same exact way that I set up the cat, and I'll be back. Okay, so I set up the dog and I'm just going to drag it inside of the pets folder that we just created, and make sure that your pet is named the exact same name that you have it named in here. So cat, dog. And make sure to spell it the exact same way. So if it's a lowercase letter, just go for a lowercase letter. If it's uppercase, just go for uppercase. Okay, so now that we have the pet model, what we need to do is actually get that pet model from the pet data. So local pet model is going to be equal to let's get the pets folder. So local assets equals replicated storage colon wait for child assets, and local pets equals assets colon wait for child pets. Now that we have both of these folders, now we can just do pets colon find first child v.pet name colon clone. Make sure to clone it, and what we're gonna do now is using the module that we required. We're gonna do local model 3d equals no, let's just do pet 3d equals module 3d, so module 3d module, and call attach 3d, and just do template dot frame, because we do have a frame in the template that is that I made just to set up, just to show our pets, comma, and then in here we're just going to do so pet.frame and the pet model. So we have the pet model right there. So pet 3d colon set depth multiplier. I'm just going to put that to 1, and these are just, you can read the API of the module if you want to know what this means. Okay, so module 3d pet 3d, sorry, dot camera colon set, no, dot field, I think it's just dot field of view, and we're gonna set that to something like 5, and pet 3d dot visible equals true. Okay, now we're just going to have a run service loop. So run service dot render stepped colon connect function, and what we're gonna do is just model 3 pet 3d, sorry, pet 3d colon set c-frame, and we're just going to type in c-frame dot angles 0 comma tick. We're gonna multiply that by math dot pi. We're gonna multiply that by 2. By the way, this 2 thing is the speed at which the pet is going to rotate. No, I think we just need to multiply tick, not this. Okay, so comma 0 outside of these parentheses. Make sure to type it the exact same way that I did, and we're gonna multiply that by c-frame.angles and math.rad. We're just gonna type in math.rad, and in here we're just gonna go for -10 comma 0 comma 0, and I think that's all we need to do. And why do I have a comma here? That's so useless. Yeah, I think we're just going to play the game and see if this is gonna work. So it does work, but we have a little problem here. The pet does not rotate. Oh yeah, I think I know where the problem is. It's just that this should be the percentage sign. So just percentage sign. Let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, so as you can see, the pet does rotate, and if you want it to rotate faster, you can just multiply tick by a number. So I'm just going to put that in parentheses, and I'm going to multiply it by let's say 3, and that's going to make it 3 times faster, of course. So let's play the game and see how that looks. That's probably not going to look good, because it's going to be spinning too fast, but it's just a personal preference. You can do whatever you want. For me, it's just going to be 1. Okay, so one thing that I don't really like about this is that the pet name is not very visible, because it doesn't have any stroke or anything. As you can see, the pet name is not very visible. So I'm just going to add a UI stroke to it, UI stroke, and I'm just going to set the this to border, no, contextual, and I'm just going to change the thickness to, let's put it to 2.7. That's probably going to make it way more visible. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, that definitely looks better. Okay, so now we need a way to actually buy pets. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have a script inside of server modules. I'm going to add a new module script, and it's going to be eggs server. Okay, so let's explain what we're gonna do here. So in here we're gonna have a function. Let's just create a function. So function module dot choose pet, and what we're gonna do is require some modules up here. So local eggs module equals require, and we need to put in some stuff here. So local replicated storage equals game get servers replicated storage, and local shared equals replicated storage wait for no dot shared, because it's the server, we don't really need to use wait for child. So dot shared, and local remote, we could use that too. Remotes equals replicated storage dot remote, and assets, local assets equals replicated storage dot assets. Local pets equals assets dot pets, and up here we could need the actual egg model. So local eggs equals workspace dot eggs. Okay, so now in here eggs module will just be maybe let's just call it eggs config for more clarity. So config, let's make sure that I'm still recording. Yes, and require. So right here, we need to require shared modules. So shared dot, and we're just going to get the eggs. Okay, so we have that. Now we need a way of choosing the pet randomly depending on the chance of the pet. So we're gonna have a variable local chance equals math.random from 1 to 100 for 100%, and what we need then is a counter equals 0, and what I'm gonna do in here is for underscore comma v in eggs config, and in here we're just going to type in egg name and square brackets egg name do, and what we're gonna do is counter plus equal, oh sorry, we need to look through the pets. So x config egg name dot pets, and we need to do v dot chance. Let's double check that. Yeah, v dot chance, and then we're gonna check if counter. So if chance is less or equal to counter, then what we're gonna do is return, and let's just do v. Okay, so that's going to also break the loop. Now what I want to try here is module. Let's just try something in here. So we're gonna go here, and we're just going to as I said last time, this is just a temporary script. We're not gonna have this catastrophe here. So require, let's just do local eggs server equals require script dot parent dot server modules dot egg server, and we're just going to wait 5 seconds, and egg server dot choose pet, and we're just going to say basic egg. Let's just make sure that the name is basic egg. Yes, and let's see if what's that going to print out. Oh, it's not going to print anything because we didn't tell it to print. So print that, and we also might want to do it for I equals from 1 to 100, do that's dot weight 0.5 or maybe 1. We might want to call this every single second just to know if it's going to choose a different pet each time. And it shouldn't. It should choose the cat more often because it's 80% chance. And let's see. So we have a problem. So attempt to index nil with pets. Okay. So in here it should do dot eggs. So eggs config dot eggs square brackets egg name. Let's see. So we're gonna wait a little, and so as you can see here, we got the cat with dog. We got the dog. Okay, so then we got the cat. Then we should get the cat again. The cat again because it's less rare. So the cat. So we know that our chance system works. We should get the dog after quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, so we got the dog again because it's rarer. Okay, so now we need to actually set up our proximity prompt. So I'm going to enter this egg server, and what I'm gonna do is for underscore comma v in eggs colon get children do, and we're gonna do v dot let's just do something. Where do we have the okay, so v dot proximity prompt part dot, let's check what we need, dot proximity prompt dot triggered colon connect function on connect function. That's going to take the player, and we'll need to check if the player has enough money to buy the egg. So local egg data equals nil, and for underscore for I comma v in, again same thing that we did on the client, for I comma v in x config dot x do if toString I equals v dot name, then egg data equals v break. We're just gonna break this, and now what we could do is okay, so we have the egg data. What do we need to do now? Okay, so we need to get the player's profile. So local data manager equals, and up here we need to get local server modules equals game.server script server, or maybe just script.parent, just script.parent. So server modules dot, and let's see what we could require. I think it's data manager, yes. And in here we're gonna check if data manager profiles no, I think it's profiles. Do we require? Okay, so we did not require it. Require, sorry. Okay, so require and data manager dot profiles square brackets player dot leader stats. Leader stats, let's double check that that's the actual spelling. Okay, so no, it's an uppercase L. Leader stats, and what do we have? So square brackets egg data dot currency. Let's see if we have that. Yes. Is greater or equal to egg data dot price or cost. Okay, so price. Then we will just print can afford. Let's just play that again. And I shouldn't be able to afford it, so if I just click this, okay, so we have a problem. Currency, tempt index nil with currency. Let's see how we can fix that. Okay, so I figured it out, and the problem was because of this. So in here it thinks that v is this, so I'm just going to change this to z, and in here I'm just going to put z in here. Let's just do x, and let's just put x in here, and in here keep this at v because it was overlapping with the other v on top. Okay, so I finally figured that out, and before we test it out, we're just gonna remove this this that we have right here. And the problem was in here I needed to add a dot data, and now everything should work just fine. So I'm just going to play the game, and now it should say can't afford, and we also have the best spin in. And now if I just set my wins to something like 10 or 100, it should say that we can actually afford it. can afford. Okay, so we know that this works and that we have input detection and we have this nice UI that displays the pets. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's tutorial. If this was helpful, please subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!